Hi, my name is Lynette Clement. Welcome to December 2020. This is Lynette, and I am reading from the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access on LoveExquisite.com. This section I am reading from the Love of Relationships, and I am reading the article titled, What's Your Reason? Ooh, that could mean so many things to so many people. So, what's your reason? In life, we engage in many things based upon our intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is the act of doing something without any reward, external reward, I should say. So I'll read that again. Intrinsic motivation is the act of doing something without any external reward. Intrinsic motivation is driven by you individually and is based upon what you personally. These are unedited, as you know. Intrinsic motivation is driven by you individually and is based upon what you personally want to achieve for yourself without the need for external reward or validation or confirmation from others. So that's intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is reward driven. It external factors drive that sense of motivation, like praise, reward, money, or acceptance or fame from by others, like acceptance by others. So the difference, as you may know, the difference between intrinsic is it is something that you want personally. Extrinsic is something that is reward driven. So you might want somebody to acknowledge you for your accolades. That's extrinsic motivation. But when you can reward yourself and applaud yourself and you want to do well because that's what you want to do personally based on your life goals, that's intrinsic, that's internal. So when you think about your relationships, ask yourself, what motivates you? What is your reason to stay with your mate? What is your reason to leave your mate? What is your reason to fight to keep your relationship? What's your reason for going back after you left? What's your reason for choosing the mate that you chose? Is your reason status? Is it age? Is it money? Is it for the love of your relationship? Is it for the sake of not being alone? Is it for the sake of not wanting the embarrassment of having to tell your friends and family that it just didn't work out? Is it for advancement or is it for the sake of the children? What's your reason? What's your why? Is another way for saying what's your reason. This is an important question because it will help you determine whether you are making the right decisions for all the right reasons, which is why this article is titled, What's Your Reason? It's just something critically to think about. So what motivates you to do what you do? Whatever your reason is, it should be a wise decision. So why you decided what you decided to do, whatever that is, it should be a wise decision and one that is best for you, not anyone else, but is best for you. As we travel through this journey called life, we think differently about who we align ourselves with. Well, at least we should. So we begin to date with a purpose, not just for fun. We begin to date with a purpose. So we make intelligent decisions about what we do with our lives. We think about our future and how we want to live it. We begin to understand the importance of developing and maintaining healthy relationships. As we get older, we should no longer make excuses and rationalize about our life decisions. Through logical reasoning, we uncover our reason for why we do what we do. We learn that our reason has to do with conscious thought and logic as opposed to emotion. So never make an emotional decision because oftentimes when you make a decision based on your emotion, it's often not the best decision for you. It is not wise to make any emotional decision. If you have good reason for doing something, you should have good motive behind the reason that makes logical sense. Ask your mate the question, what is your reason for choosing me? And don't be afraid to ask that question because it's an important one. That way you know if their heart and mind are in the right place. When you ask that question, you are asking, what is your motive for choosing me? Their reason for choosing you matters and can help to determine whether or not their intentions are good. Then ask yourself, what's your reason for choosing your mate? Your reason matters as well and can determine how happy and content you will be in your relationship. When couples ask themselves what's their reason for choosing their mate, it allows them to engage in critical thinking about the decisions that they make in life. Oftentimes, asking the question, what's your reason, will require you to reveal some things about yourself that may have overlooked, may have not accepted, or are not yet willing to confront. We have to be honest with ourselves and our mate about what our reason is for choosing him or her. So, what's your reason? Don't be afraid again to ask that question. Don't be afraid to ask that question. It is an extremely important one. So don't be afraid to answer that question if your mate asks you that question. It should be an easy response if you had the right intentions. It is an extremely important question to making sure that you are making the right decisions with your mate selection. To assess whether or not your reason is a good one, ask yourself this important question. If you had to make the same decision again, would you choose differently? Some of you would say, yeah, I most certainly would. Some of you would be like, no, I'm happy with my choice. And that is where you want to be. That's the good thing. That's a good thing. That's when you know you've made the right decision. So, what is your answer to that question? Think about it. If you truly love the relationship that you're in, the answer should be an easy one, and your response should include more than just love. So if you say, "Well, I chose my mate because I love them, I love him or her," it has to be more than just love. So if we're lucky to live long enough, we do realize and accept that love alone is not enough to sustain a happy, healthy relationship. So, what's your reason beyond love? Your answer to that question will determine whether or not you made the right choice, whether or not you made the right relationship choice. Prayerfully, the both of you made the right decision. What's your reason? That is titled What's Your Reason? It's in the December 2020 issue of the Love Exquisite Magazine. And my name is Lynette Clement. So, what's your reason? Ask yourself that and don't be afraid to ask your mate that. And hopefully, both of you have very good reason for choosing each other. God bless and continue to build healthy relationships.